Hey guys, welcome to the Pro Play Games YouTube channel. Danny Altavilla here. I just came back from winning the Toronto Regional Championship with Buzzwole Lycanroc. I'm part of the Pro Play Games sponsor team for Pokemon, so welcome, and I just wanted to share my list with you guys. It's not very different from the list that just got second place in Brazil by Azul GG. His list was really consistent and focused on making sure you don't whiff elixirs with the 11 strong, the 11 fighting and 3 strong. But I wanted to just go with 10 fighting and 4 strong because I felt that the 20 damage would be significant throughout the day. Like, for example, in the Buzzrock mirror, you want to make sure that you have a strong and a choice band so that you're hitting a lot of damage because the math really adds up. You need strong to one-shot a Mew if your opponent starts Mew. Like, there's a lot of situations where the 4th strong comes in clutch, and I felt like 10 energy compared to 11 energy wouldn't really change how often you whiff elixirs. I hear people even saying they play 12 energy and that they still whiff elixirs, and at that point it's like, why are you trying so hard? Like, you can still win the game without hitting elixirs. So basically here's the list. We start off with the 3 Buzzwole GX. That's standard. It's because 4 Buzzwole GX is a little bit of overkill because this isn't really like the main attacker in the deck, but it is a very strong attacker. This is more of like a fighting kind of toolbox, and you'll see that in a minute. We play 2 corner Rockruffs. A lot of people are playing 1 promo, 1 corner. A lot of people might even be playing 2 promo, but I like playing the corner because literally so many times there's going to be wacky situations where you could just corner your opponent for a turn, and until your opponent has a Guzma in hand, you get free turns off corner. So the card is like deceptively good, way better than people think, and it's kind of broken, like being able to charge stuff up on your bench, baiting out your opponent's Guzmas, and then once they run out of Guzmas, you just corner lock them. Like, having that as an option to win the game is so cool. We have 2 Lycanroc GX. Bloodthirsty Eyes is an insane ability. It says when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your guys, you can switch one of your opponent's Pokemon, so it's like a Lysander effect. That's really huge on a Pokemon because it means you can play a Sycamore or an N and bring up a Pokemon, which is really disruptive right now. It kind of gives the deck an element of disruption alongside its aggression, which is huge. In a format where like trade is so big and your opponents are never whiffing, like this card makes it possible for somebody to potentially whiff. And then obviously Claw Slash is a cool attack. It does 110, but with so many damage modifiers in the deck, we can hit for even bigger numbers. And then Dangerous Rogue GX is the best GX attack because Pokemon right now is a game where you have a full bench because there are so many Pokemon that support you in draws such as Octillery or Zoroark GX, so Dangerous Rogue takes advantage of that. And it's also really good against players who don't really understand that you can't fill up your bench against Lycanroc, so you could just take advantage of people playing like that. We have 2 Ion Pool Remoraid's. I don't even think it matters which Remoraid you play. Ion Pool is probably cool because you could discard Mount Coronet against Duskmane, but besides that, I don't see Ion Pool being that big. Like, maybe you can get rid of a parallel that's hurting you, but if you attack with Remoraid, which you pretty much never will, it'll probably be to just win you the game. Like, we have 2 Octillery for the 2 Remis. Obviously, it's not good to play just 2-1 because when you prize an Octillery, you're just screwed. It's nice to have the 2-2 for the consistency. We have 2 Mew from Fates Collide. Mew's really good because you can copy Buzzwole's attack, you can copy Corner, you can literally copy Knuckle Impact or Absorption GX on a 1-prizer, which is really broken. There were like multiple times throughout the event that I used Encounter, so like being able to search your deck for a Pokemon is really good. It means if you start Mew and your hand's dead, your hand is no longer dead as long as you can survive for a turn to use Encounter. Mew's really big right now because everyone's playing Mew EX and Zoroark decks, so Mew with a choice band copying Jet Punch does 120 after weakness. So some people are playing 1 Mew, 1 Oricorio split. I think the 2 Mew's better because of the free retreat, and there's a lot of times that you like attack, knock out a Mew EX, they ignore your Mew, and then you go like attach energy to it, copy Watch and Learn, or attach 2 energies to it, copy Knuckle Impact. So this card's really good, wouldn't change that ever. We have 1 Regirock EX to add 10 damage and for Bedrock Press Shenanigans with Mew. We have Watch and Learn Pseudo. This card's big because it can copy GX attacks. If your opponent ever hits for a big number and you have no other attacks on board, you can just bring up Watch and Learn, copy their big number, and then only give up 1 prize. So Pseudo Widow is pretty important for the deck. It's probably one of the best cards in the deck right now. And then we have 1 Tapu Lele GX, which is just for consistency. It turns our 4 Ultra Balls into a supporter, essentially. And then we have 4 Guzma. Guzma at 4 is really good in this deck with the 2 Lycanrocs. It means that we can switch out our Regirocs and Octos if people keep trying to bring them active. It also means that we can obviously, be the role of the aggressor in our games and just make it so our opponent can't set up a board, which is really what we're trying to accomplish here. We have 4 Professor Sycamore. I think Sycamore's necessary at 4 in most decks right now. Maybe not in Zork GX, but if you're not playing Zork, you probably should be playing 4 Sycamore. We have 2 Cynthia, just some extra draw. Sometimes you don't want to play N and give your opponent a fresh hand. Sometimes you don't want to play Sycamore and discard an Elixir. Sometimes you have like 3 fighting in your hand, so you just want to shuffle those back into your deck so you can hit an Elixir, stuff like that. And then we have 2 N, because N and Bloodthirsty Eyes combined is really good. You can go like N, knock out a Zork, and then your opponent might have a dead hand. You can go N, knock out an Octo, and your opponent might have a dead hand, etc. 4 Ultra Ball, that's consistency. 4 Max Elixir, consistency. 4 Choice Band, consistency. Like if we're going to devote 2 slots to Mew, we might as well devote 4 slots to Choice Band so that we can get that play more often. Also, the damage modifiers are a really big part of why this deck is so successful in my opinion. I think hitting more damage, like more than your opponent ever expected you to be able to hit, is really good. 3 Floatstones. That's just because we have so many bulky guys that we need to move around, and Floatstone is just the best way to go about doing that. 3 Brooklet Hill, just for consistency. It's 3 extra ball cards that counter Parallel Cities, and they just stay in play if your opponent can't get rid of them. We have 4 Strong Energies, which I explained earlier. And then we have we have 10 Fighting Energies, 10 basic fightings, so that we don't whiff Elixirs too much. Some lists we're playing 9, some lists play 11, which I think is too much, so I don't know if this is the perfect Buzzrock list. I think it's a really good one, though. It's the one I was comfortable with, which is what's most important to myself. It doesn't even really matter anyways, because the standard format's about to change soon. Like, people are probably not going to be playing Pseudo Widow anymore in favor of Baby Buzzwole and stuff like that. So you could see huge changes in the deck's dynamic overall. But this is the list that I feel was really good for me for this event. It's really good for standard right now before Forbidden Light comes out. So I would definitely recommend giving it a try. Just wanted to do a quick shout out to Pro Play Games and Ultra Pro for helping me get to Toronto. They definitely are the MVPs, always hooking me up with sleeves, with cards I need, making sure that I am prepared for every event I go to. Yeah, shout out to all my friends who told me to play Buzzrock. That was nice. Definitely a good deck. It let me make plays and like be a good player, but at the same time, it let me like just run so hot that sometimes my opponent couldn't win just based off of my board turn 1, which is really good. Like a deck like that is so oppressive and honestly just really fun to play and like really rewarding. But yeah, so thanks guys for checking out the list, and I'll see you next time with some Forbidden Light stuff.